I'm fantasizing about a potential cock. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You look at this and you go, ooh, I wonder if she has a girthy one. I wonder if it's veiny. It's weird, bro. You're fucking weird. And your brain is breaking. And you think it's normal to feel this way. They're transvestigating Katie Ledecky. Dude, I know. Because they're fucking brain broken, dude. They're brain broken. They're brain broken. They're brain broken. They're fucking brain broken. They just hate. Like, they hate. That's it. And it's not even just like that they hate women. It's great you think it's okay for a man to box the head of a woman. Bro, you need to fucking maybe box yourself a little bit, okay? Just slam your head into a fucking wall until your brain is reoriented into being normal. You have fantasized that this person is a fucking man. She's not. And now you are like operating on this planet, on this completely different reality. We are currently talking about just all cis women. Okay, is this a man or a woman? How do you respond? Will determine the strength of your character. They cannot be fucking normal. They cannot be fucking normal at all. None of these people are trans women, bro. And it's fine even if they were. Like I've already talked about this. Like I don't give a shit. It's crazy. It's crazy that these motherfuckers are like, nope, don't care. That's a man. Don't care. That's a man. The N Wokeness account has 350,000 likes, bro. An absolute travesty at the Olympics. Angela Carini is forced to box against a biological male. She quits after just 45 seconds and cries hysterically as her opponents declare the winner. Don't look away. This is wokeness. And then you got fucking Michaela saying this shit. Like, Michaela, go take care of your kid. You are literally getting fucking brain broken by this shit online. I promise you. This is not real. You're literally fucking getting duped, Michaela. Goddamn, Michaela. These arguments are so fucking stupid. She can vote for Trump in Missouri. Who cares? No, I care. Because this is a person I know. And it's like sad to see people get so fucking lasered in the mind. It's like the amount of time that they spend on Twitter directly contributes to like their brain getting fucking ironed into like a perfectly smooth shape. Okay. The more time you spend on Twitter, the more you believe what you see on this dumbass fucking platform, the smoother your brain becomes. And of course I'm like, are you triggered? I'm upset, dude. Of course I'm upset. I'm upset that people are becoming dumber as a consequence of what they see online. That is just falsehoods. Why the fuck? Who wouldn't be upset at that? Especially people that you know. Bruh, it's just not fair. Stop it. Dude, you're talking about a cis woman. What do you mean? You're literally like, what are we supposed to do? It's not a man. What are we supposed to do, dog? What are we supposed to do? You're just wrong. At this point, it feels like 50% of the population is just genuinely schizophrenic. And it's like, it's our problem. It's all of our problem now. Because it's like, no, I'm hallucinating this thing. Okay? I'm hallucinating this fucking thing. And like, you have to deal with it. Like, you have to deal with my hallucinations. It's like, what are we doing? This is the purest form of evil unfolding right before our eyes. Of course, that got 79,000 likes and is still gaining likes. The correction is sitting at 3,000 likes because nobody fucking cares about the truth. Oh my God, dude. And at this point, it's literally just like you're imagining cock, okay? You are imagining cock. You're fantasizing about a person that you're seeing on screen. And instead of like watching them do their goddamn thing, be an excellent fucking athlete, you know, sometimes losing, sometimes winning. Instead of looking at that and going, I am fascinated by what human beings can do to their fucking bodies to become these machines that are competitive at the global level. Instead of looking at that and thinking, wow, look at how far we have gotten in terms of like medical science, in terms of exercise science, in terms of like where we are with how we consistently push our fucking flesh and blood to max out, to do unimaginable things at the competitive level. Instead of looking at that and appreciating that, you go, I'm fantasizing about a potential cock. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You look at this and you go, ooh, I wonder if she has a girthy one. I wonder if it's veiny. It's weird, bro. You're fucking weird. And your brain is breaking. And you think it's normal to feel this way. And this is one of the purest forms of mania that I always talk about. It's like, it starts off by being like, trans people are odd. I don't really understand it. Two genders only. And then you can either sidestep into this like world where you know, live and let live. And you're like, yeah, whatever. I don't get it. Who cares? Don't be weird. Don't be mean. Don't be ruthless. Don't be a bully. Or, and many people are in that pocket, or you just go, no, this is a satanic thing that's happening, that everyone is trying to become trans. And you just become this hysterical trans panic demon that routinely breaks your fucking mind further and further as you go down this rabbit hole. And I try to warn motherfuckers all the time. But before you know it, you become this person that is constantly, especially with Twitter, especially because like Twitter literally gives you all the clout you want. And some people cynically lean into that to be like, yeah, that's a man. And other people legitimately believe that. But before you know it, you've become this brain broken person where you're literally fantasizing about whether someone that you're watching on screen has a cock or not. I have been warning about this for years and years and years. I'm telling you right now, you might not understand trans shit. I certainly didn't, okay? It was confusing to me as well, especially because the gender binary is how we are taught, how we are educated from an early age. So when everything that we know, gender is something that we closely associate with our identity, when everything we know about this particular field is like almost ripped apart, it feels like reality is falling apart, where you're like, what the fuck? And you have two options in that situation. Either you read into the literature, you read into the fucking available evidence, and you look further beyond your own internal biases in the matter, or you just seek out someone who will just spit out all of the shit that you feel in your heart of hearts is right. Okay? And a lot of people become obsessed. They become pathologically obsessed weirdos with this trans shit. They can't leave it alone. They just can't be like, yeah, some people are trans. I don't really understand it, but who gives a fuck? It's like, you know, in the 90s, people didn't understand people being gay, you know, and time moves on and we become more sensitive to these matters. We become more understanding and more empathetic, and we just move on. And it's odd because people literally would be like, back in the day, people were like, what is a woman? Does she have a pussy? Does she have a uterus? Okay, here's a woman with a pussy and a uterus. And you're like, nope, that's not a woman. She's too brolic. Yeah, her prior banning comes from political reasons, okay? There are no trans women in the Olympics. There's like, I think 2 non-binary people. But beyond that, but they're still like, I think they're assigned female at birth, non-binary. And that's it. There's also a literal child rapist competing. Yeah, that's the other thing. There's a dude who fucking flew internationally to go rape a child. And that dude is competing. I don't hear these motherfuckers chirping about that at all. What is going on? Yeah, he raped a 12-year-old or some shit. Oh, there's one trans man. There's one trans boxer at the Olympics, but it's not a trans woman. There are none good enough to have qualified. It's a trans man called Herji Bachiadan. That doesn't fit the biggest narrative, so they'll ignore it and lie instead. I thought there was no trans people at all. I thought there was like one or 2 NBs, but I guess there's one trans man as well. Kicked out of the village. Did Elon partake in this particularly demented display of delusion as well? I just don't get it. I don't like. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. Maybe I'm the abnormal person, right? Maybe I'm the weird one. But for me, it's just like, I don't give a fuck, man. I don't care. Like, I just want to watch people do unimaginable feats of strength. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's really fucked up. I'm just going to fucking sit around and suspect people of being trans. Like, that's not where my mind goes. And if you spend a lot of time on a right-wing website like Twitter, you're going to develop this false narrative, this false sense that like everyone is just as invested in the weirdo shit as like all the right-wingers are. But that's not the truth. That's not how it works. Also, do we have a way to look at the Wired magazine? It's so gross because at the end of the day, like a lot of this is just basically being like, I have in my mind a specific way that women should look, right? I have in my mind a specific way that women should look. if this woman doesn't look the way that I want women to look, then she's not a real woman. That's all you're doing. It's like hyper misogynistic in many respects. And it's very odd that people don't understand that, because like women that participate in this kind of transphobia are also so fucking weird, because like TERFs are the clockiest women I've ever seen. Like, what are we doing here? How are you going to be the clockiest woman on the fucking planet and chirp about like how brolic some athletes are, dude? What the fuck? What are we doing? Like, it just blows my mind. And for those who don't know, TERFs are trans exclusionary radical feminists. They're not really feminists at all, but like they're just transphobes, right? It's shorthand for transphobe. Clocky means like clocking someone means like clocking someone for being trans. Transvestigation, the earlier version of that was when you do not fit the gender expression. It's something that, you know, trans people worry about. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it too much, but basically it turned into this like weird thing where people go, we can always tell. Transphobes love saying, we can always tell. No, the fuck you can't. That's a garbage take, brother. That Italian woman dedicated her whole life into becoming the best athlete, and now you come in and say amazing feats of strength when that person is competing as a testosterone anomaly. Brother, what are you talking about? Ain't nobody out here chirping about Michael Phelps having a fucking unimaginably long wingspan. What the fuck? Now you're so mad about transphobia that you suspected existed that even when it doesn't exist there, now you're fucking chirping about natural advantages. Suck my fucking dick. It's like complaining that LeBron James is 6'9", 250 pounds, and has the grace of a ballerina. How is that allowed? We need to do a 6 foot and under NBA league now. Why is Wemby playing in the Olympics? Where? That's what you sound like, bitch ass. Shut the fuck up. How can someone be 20 years old, be fucking 7'11", and play basketball like that? That's not allowed. That's what you sound like. You fucking bitch. You stupid ass pussy. Shut the fuck up. How can you yourself an athlete like that? He got so triggered, dude. He got so mad. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. You got people who are maxing out all their fucking skills for their entire goddamn lives, competing against one another, dumb fuck. And yes, some of them have natural advantages as well. Shut the fuck up. Shut your bitch ass up. You want to put fucking shackles on these athletes specifically because you suspect them of being trans. That's it. We haven't even gotten to the other part of the conversation that, like, I don't even care if she was a trans woman. She's not. Because she's not. And these people are still fucking running on this narrative. Okay? Trans people compete all the time, and they get their shit pushed in all the fucking time. And in the one moment that they actually fucking do win, all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. But now when there's no fucking trans women competing, people still lose their minds because now they're like, well, I still suspect that there's a trans person there. You're hallucinating, brother. You are hallucinating. Okay? You are a little schizo. I'm sorry. No disrespect to the schizophrenics in the chat. Okay? I love you all. I know many of you are wonderful contributors to this community, but these guys are undiagnosed at this point and don't know. And they're literally doing this by going online. Like, they've done this to themselves by just going online and just like breaking their fucking brains, dude. Why the fuck would they, what the fuck would they do if a trans man had to fight against cis women because they were born female? They're so stupid. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They just don't want trans people to exist. That's the whole point. There's no actual solution to that. They're just like, oh, yeah, if you're trans, you just don't compete. That's it. That's what their fucking ultimate goal is. This part of the conversation is so nutty because it's so fucking obvious that these guys are like stretched. They've stretched so far. And here, by the way, look, Sneako update, same reason you do a podcast with one. This is Bradley Martin's co-host, okay? And obviously, these fucking freaks are now saying she's a man too. She's a trans woman as well. Why? Because she's jacked. Because she doesn't abide by what the standards that this person has decided women should look like. That's it. That's all this is. Also, This person lost 9 fucking times, bro. This person, one, comes from a country where I think it's not legal to be trans, if I'm not mistaken, okay? Not exactly a very pro-trans country, Algeria, okay? So that's number one. So that's number one, okay? That's number one. Number two, she has 9 losses. She was in the last Olympics and didn't win anything. Only 11% of her victories are knockouts. She's from a country where you're not even allowed to transition if you wanted to. To the hateful and ignorant, this doesn't matter, and they don't know that because they found out who this was recently, and Khalif just is someone that was used in the culture war. Yeah, bro. This is what sports is about, okay? This is what sports is about, motherfucker. This is what it's about. You have people that overcome great odds, okay? You have incredible fucking stories. You have people who are like literally 5'4" or 5'8", apparently. I don't know. That's what I heard. I thought he was 5'4", taking 3-point shots off of a guy like Wemby and scoring. Okay, this dude was cooking, dude. They got robbed because they were playing against the home team. So like, obviously, you know, they went all the way up till the last. They balled their fucking hearts out till the very last moment. Anyway, this stuff is super. This stuff is just like the most salient point that you can make against trans people. That's why people did it for so long, because it captures the attention of a lot of people who are otherwise so incredibly tapped out of that conversation. But this is the one thing that they look at and go, nope, that's wrong. Man beating on a woman, that's wrong. And yeah, they're really going all in on this. Just pretend this woman is trans, the harvest outrage. None of them will stand being corrected. They don't care what's true. They don't care about the potential consequences of transvestigating a woman from a country where being trans is illegal. They don't even give a shit. Men don't belong in women's sports. I stand with Angela Carini. Let's get this trending. Absolutely, says Elon Musk. 999,000 likes. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. It's like, it doesn't matter. It does not fucking matter to these people. Now let's get to the story. The IOC had to come out and make a fucking statement, okay? The IOC had to come out and make a goddamn statement about this shit. The whole WoW discourse talking about how there's men fighting in women's boxing. This is going very widespread quickly. Yeah, the craziest part about this fucking story is that she's literally a cis woman too. So it doesn't even fucking matter. Bad tweet. Because everyone thinks she's trans, but she's not. What the fuck do you mean? So funny coming from gamers or Twitter posters, at least brolic motherfuckers on the planet. Yeah. This is the worst aspect of misinformation online, is that once people actually make up their minds about a thing that corresponds to their fucking personal biases, it doesn't even fucking matter. Hormone levels have literally been used to discriminate against female athletes, like cisgender female athletes historically. And it's so fucking annoying. And it's something that I say all the goddamn time, dude. This is something I've talked about so much. This is literally a very foreseeable byproduct of having fucking terminal brain rot in terms of like suspecting people of being trans. Okay? You just start harming cis women. You might be just simply transphobic and you want to fucking kill trans people, but you end up harming cis women too. Okay? And that's the thing. Obviously, that's not my only problem here. I think it's fucking insane and gross to be this transphobic in general. But like, there are significantly more cis women than there are trans women. So statistically, you're just hurting more cis women than trans women when you fucking do this shit. And it doesn't really matter to a lot of dudes doing it because they're misogynistic anyway. And they're like, yeah, why do you look like that? It fucking hurts my feelings that you're more brolic than me as a guy. Irony is she lost the 9 females prior, but nobody brings that up. So when she loses the women, that is okay. But she beats the woman, everyone goes crazy. Guys, that is always the case. And they do that with trans athletes as well. This is not a trans athlete. This is a cis athlete. But they do that with trans athletes all the time. This is the nature of the game. Okay? It's not like trans athletes are like automatically dominant. That's not a real thing. That's not how this works. That's not how this happens at all. They never talk about trans athletes when they're losing, or maybe even sometimes. I think the peak of this mania was the last Olympics when there was a trans athlete that was an Olympic weightlifter who literally fucking got owned, right? She went all the way up in the weightlifting competition and she lost. And then they started saying, oh, she lost specifically so that more trans athletes could actually participate. Like, it's crazy, bro. There was an Olympic trans weightlifter, okay, who got fucking last place in Olympic weightlifting. And I remember at the time, people were literally going, oh, well, she probably lost on purpose so that more trans athletes could participate in the future. It's crazy to me that this is still a debate. We're fucking cooked. No, it's not that we're fucking cooked. We're getting progressively worse. That's the problem. This culture war shit is breaking the brains of people. Okay? We are progressively getting worse on this issue. When there's no trans people left, like in this circumstance, now they're just going after cis women and hallucinating that they're trans. And you can't fucking tell these people they're wrong. They will not believe you because they're fucking insane. That's the worst part about it. Like, you cannot reason with a person that is high off of the 354,000 likes that they got, pumping this fucking narrative out there. And it's so crazy to me because all this transphobia shit, trans people can't compete, trans people can't compete, trans people can't compete. Okay, now they can't compete. And even then, they're like, no, now I suspect these cis women to be trans as well. I don't know. I don't know what to, like, I don't know what to say in this situation. It's like we celebrate natural advantages that athletes have in every other field until we're talking about women. Okay? Pat McAfee did an entire transphobic segment on this.
Women's boxing, I haven't done enough research. I saw that
Well, don't shut the fuck up then. Why? Why are you doing this? Like, yo, we really don't give a fuck, dude. Nobody gives a fuck, dude. Nobody gives a fuck. Islamophobia, transphobia, nobody gives a fuck. I didn't do enough research. Like, then do more research, dumb fuck. What do you mean you didn't do enough research? Like, we have no care or consideration in the Western world when we talk about these issues, right? It's just like, I don't know. Like, what do you mean, bro? What do you mean you didn't do enough research? Like, that's your fucking job. Come on, man. Use your fucking mind. Like, use your goddamn brain. It looks like a guy. We are devolving as a society, okay? We are devolving as a society. This issue is one of those things. You might not give a fuck about it because you've never, like, possibly met a trans person. You have no idea, right? You just don't know. There's trans people all around, but there's not that many of them. So you don't really think about it that much. And that's normal. Many people don't think about trans people all the time until they fucking think about it all the time, nonstop. That's all the only thing that they think about. And it breaks their fucking brain. It warps their perception. They're thinking that there is a hidden trans agenda. There's a secret trans in every corner. It was always obvious that this wasn't about like women and protecting the integrity of women's sports. It was just a shield. Just like affirmative action is not about like getting Asian people to have better placement in college applications. It's just a shield that white supremacists, fascists, or racists use, okay? Because if they were to say, I don't want black people in Ivy League schools, people would look at them and go, that's racist as fuck. You're weird. Why the fuck are you saying that? And now we are in the midst of them revealing the fucking ball game from the start. It doesn't make any fucking sense, but unfortunately, it does not matter how fucking nutty people are. It does not matter how insane people are. This literally happened with Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson personally was running around and bastardizing a hate speech bill that would incorporate transphobia into hate speech. Hate speech was already in the Canadian law, right? And he lied about it. He said, if you misgender someone, you're going to jail. Not a single person ever went to jail in Canada over misgendering someone. Okay, not one. And it got so bad, fucking bad that the Canadian Bar Association had to release a statement on it. But nobody fucking cared. Bill C-16 was all the talk of the town. Okay? You think you're more experienced or smarter than Jordan Peterson? Yes. After all, I didn't have a crippling benzo addiction and then allow my daughter to almost kill me by making me take a controversial cold turkey rehab center in fucking Russia and then give me COVID because she wanted to fuck Andrew Tate in the middle of Serbia during peak COVID. So yeah, I think on that front, I would say my room is cleaner and I almost didn't fucking die multiple times by drinking apple juice in the midst of my fucking only meat diet that I keep promoting. So yeah, no, I do think that I'm actually smarter than Jordan Peterson. Yeah, automatically. I think if you almost died drinking apple cider, you're just a bad person. You're a stupid person. It gets even worse. Bill C-16 is toothless. We had a politician who won her seat after calling trans kids pieces of shit in a meal that needed to be removed. Yeah, Trump is posting about this shit too. Bro, it is crazy. It is crazy. We are now reaching peak brainworm. We are reaching peak brain rot. Okay? Peak brain rot on this issue. We have officially reached terminal velocity. It does not matter what the truth is. What matters is how people feel about it. Okay? Facts over feelings. No thanks. Feelings over facts. Okay? Angela deserves better. I created a fund for her. Bro, she's an Italian boxer. What are you saying? You're an American congressman running a fucking GoFundMe? Bro, it's over. We're so done. Society is collapsing in front of our fucking eyes, dude. Over the dumbest shit. We're experiencing the birth of idiocracy. It's been here for a while. Why even dedicate so much energy into this? You're just being dragged down to end the spiral of culture, war, rage. Dude, what do you mean? This is a massive fucking issue. And it's not just an issue due to transphobia, which is something I do care about, right? But it's also a massive issue in terms of like how American culture war agendas have permanently warped people's brains into believing falsehoods that they ride for. Even if they get corrected, it doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter. It makes me lose my fucking mind. How can you say that this is not significant? Like, this is something that is objectively untrue, and it doesn't fucking matter when the president, the former president who's running for re-election, can look at something that is objectively untrue and just post about it. And enough people are like, yeah, I don't really even care that it's not true. I'm just going to keep going with it. Yeah, and this is going to be a massively consequential point. All athletes are trans. All Olympic records championship stats are voided until we can gender confirm. Yeah, dude, they're saying Katie Ledecky is trans. This one creepy looking dude, I'll be glad when we can officially discount every ridiculous bozo's ranking in women's sports around the world. We have dictionaries for a reason. We have biology for a reason. It is what it is. Besides, they didn't sign up to be Oscar Wilde play. It's a circus out there. Like, you understand this, right? Like, you guys get this. You guys understand what's going on, right? None of these women are trans. We've officially moved on. We don't have trans athletes competing. So now we've moved on to cis women that we are suspecting of being trans. Why? Because they don't correspond to my own personal biases of what a woman should look like. That's it. That's what's going on here. It's something that I have talked about time and fucking time again. Oopsies, I might be guilty. Here's what Logan Paul said. This is the purest form of evil unfolding right before our eyes. A man was allowed to beat up a woman on a global stage, crushing her life's dream of fighting for her deceased father. This delusion must end. It's now sitting at 88,000. 88,000 likes. Transgender is illegal in Algeria. I'll wait for the facts. Like Taylor Kniff is on the right side of this story. How the fuck are you not on? I don't know what to say. Like, you got fucking former Vine stars correcting you, Logan Paul. What the fuck's wrong with you, dude? And then he goes, oopsies, I might be guilty of spreading misinformation along with the entirety of this app. Although she's been previously disqualified for failing a gender test, has XY chromosomes, some sources say Iman Khalif was born a biological woman. I stand by my sentiment that biological men should not compete against biological women in any sport, and if you disagree, you're a sick fuck. Doesn't delete it, still continues along with the narrative that she's actually secretly a man, and even his correction got fucking 6,000 likes while his fucking original tweet is still picking up steam. When we first opened it, it had 68,000 likes. Now it's sitting at 88,000 likes. Fuck. I'm mad. And it's not just because of the transphobia, okay? I'm mad about the transphobia, of course, obviously. But I'm also mad about the fact that we are bludgeoning ourselves with brain disease, okay? We are bludgeoning ourselves and actively leaning into the brain rot. Is this a man or a woman? How you respond will determine the strength of your character. It's like what are we doing here? Everyone's trans, bro. That's it. So many people are reaching the final stage of transphobia, which is when you suspect everyone and anyone of being trans. Probably going to get a lot of backlash. What type of delusion is to keep calling this man a she? Probably going to get a lot of backlash, but was she a man before the way she was built? Maybe she just worked really hard at it, but she really looks like she was a man before. And if that's the truth, then I don't understand why they're making such a big deal that they're beating women when they have a physical ability of a man. If I'm wrong, let me know. Great, but who's this guy in the picture? Is he on a swim team too? I feel so bad for the women of the U.S. swim team who were cheated out of their place in their sport by someone born male beating them out. If steroids are illegal in sports for giving an unfair advantage, this should be too. Like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Look, that's another cis woman. Another cis woman being transvestigated. American rugby star, Olympian Ilona Meyer, being fucking transvestigated for being brolic, dude. What are we doing?
To be very real here for a second, as you can probably tell, I've been crying a little bit. I always get these comments, but like recently it kind of ramped up. I get comments being called a man and being called masculine and asking if I'm on steroids. There will always be negative people out there, and they put women in a box, and they think of women should be fragile and petite and quiet and meek, but that's not the case. Women can be strong, and they can have broad shoulders, and they can take up space, and they can be big. I think I'm getting emotional because I feel very passionate about this. Don't let anybody try to define or dictate how you feel about yourself. You get to decide that. I'm gonna be very real here for a second.
Bro, we've maxed out on the fucking misogyny. We've maxed out on the transphobia. What the fuck is going on this goddamn platform, dude? Holy shit. Mike Malak's thoughts. My final thoughts. Biological men shouldn't participate in women's sports. Is one of the core claims of the trans community is we aren't bothering you, so leave us alone. Unfairly messing with people's lifetime dreams is in fact bothersome, so let's not do that. Like, this literally is a conversation that I've tried to have with Mike, and like, it is impossible to break through. Okay? And they don't realize, okay? Many people do not fucking realize that, like, this conversation, that's the norm, okay? 70% to 80% of the American public, most people just automatically just hit that line. But what they don't realize is when they're hitting that line, they're also so unimaginably susceptible to just getting swept away with this fucking trans panic because they don't understand. They don't understand that they've already been brain broken into believing this shit, okay? Where they have in their minds this notion that fucking trans people are magically, unimaginably gifted athletes when that is not the fucking case. There are a million different reasons as to why someone outcompetes another person, okay? Including just pure luck too. Biological women, higher testosterone, or other outliers are still women, should play women's sports. What happened today seems akin to questioning the Williams sisters' legitimacy in playing tennis. They surely have a superior setup, and that's why they are athletes. Twitter, currently known as X, moves way too fast with way too little research. Blah, 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 blah. I have wide shoulders and ribs too. I'm on, man. Does this make me get a pay raise and better rights too? Fuck. It's just so incredibly mind-melting and so incredibly frustrating. Can you please shout out my friend's stream? He needs views. No, none of these transphobes better find out about Down syndrome. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, here's Amy Broadhurst who beat Iman defending her. Yeah, have a lot of people texting me over Iman Khalif. Personally, I don't think she has done anything to cheat. I think it's the way she was born, and that's out of her control. The fact that she has been beaten by 9 females before says it all. I mean, this is her trying to do her very best, including she beat her. It's just so fucking annoying, dude. Let people do whatever the fuck they want. Jesus Christ. What would your reaction have been if you were supposed to fight Khalif? Amy, I have great respect for your boxing legacy. Oh yeah, this is funny. Amy, I have great respect for your boxing leagues, but you missed the mark here. Agreed, the way you're born is out of your control, but it's a clear advantage. It shouldn't be allowed. Amy Broadhurst did fight Imam Khalif in the 2022 World Championship final. She won. I have, for a very long time, warned people that mainlining transphobia makes you more insane. Like, it's not, being trans is not a mental illness. Transphobia is a mental illness, okay? Transphobia is a mental illness. And because gender is mostly just a social construct and an expression that changes throughout time, gender norms have changed throughout time in the United States of America. They are different in other countries and other cultures. But people don't fucking understand that, and they think it's a rigid binary when it's not. That, like, you finally arrive at the conclusion from the other side when you just start believing that anyone and everyone can be trans, because that's the truth. Anyone and everyone can technically be fucking trans, and you might not know it. So then they fucking hallucinate a world in which, like, oh my God, are my parents trans? There are entire Facebook groups dedicated to this shit. We've covered it extensively. People that just, like, go down this transphobia train and don't understand what they are doing, so they become borderline schizophrenic about the reality that, like, maybe the cash register today that I saw was trans potentially. It seemed like she might have had an Adam's apple, and they don't realize that they're, like, not normal. They don't realize that they're, like, literally living in a world where they're consistently paranoid. And the final stage of, like terminal brain rot in terms of transphobia is when you start suspecting everyone around you of secretly being trans. There are people in these groups, in these Facebook groups, that literally suspect their parents of being trans. Okay? It sounds like a fucking joke, but that is where a lot of people are heading down. Like, these are Olympic athletes, man. Of course they're built different than the average person. They're literally at the top. Like, they're at the tippy top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. You get one free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite broadcaster. We're going to now listen to the IOC, the Olympic Commission, talk about the boxers' gender test controversy. This all matches conspiracy theory levels of delusion. Yeah, bro. A lot of people look at, like, the Alex Jones type motherfuckers and, like, joke about it, right? Like, we joke about, like, Alex Jones fans hallucinating that, like, another white supremacist shooter actually is, like, a government psyop or whatever, or that, like, an actual shooting that took place, like a school shooting that took place, again, was actually secretly fake and it didn't really happen. We all collectively look and laugh at that. But when it comes to trans issues, a lot of people do that exact same thing and think they're in the right. This is no different than imagining that the Sandy Hook school shooting is not real. Except the difference is fucking JD Vance is tweeting about it and fucking Donald Trump is truthing about it. Do you understand? Like, you got presidential candidates running for president and their VP picks saying, like, nah, that's a trans woman. I don't care. That's actually a man. I don't care. La, la, la. I can't hear you. And it's like, bro, that's not the case. That's not the case at all. But it's so commonplace where people like Pat McAfee, who fucking streams their shit to, like, millions of people, can just get away with saying, I haven't done enough research on this matter, but I'm still going to chirp about it. And it's so goddamn depressing to see people be so fucking stupid. Even if you are not, like, the biggest trans ally, you should still get mad at how fucking stupid these people are. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is not just an issue about transphobia, even though that is at the heart of the matter, right? This is also an issue about, like, how information spreads online and how misinformation, especially on a platform owned by a right-wing shithead billionaire who fucking despises trans people, including his own fucking daughter, who is trans, can just immediately change the narrative, immediately change the reality. What are we doing?
The women's boxing, I haven't done enough research. I saw that
Just shut the fuck up. That's it. If you haven't done research, shut the fuck up until you do research.
International Boxing Association deemed a couple of the boxers that are in the Olympics, still in the Olympics, not eligible to box in women's boxing because they had too much testosterone or they were deemed a male, I believe, from XY chromosome, from the research that I've done. So now we're watching the Olympics.
No, you haven't done any research. You saw a fucking Twitter post. That's what you saw. Yeah, they're doing it to fucking Simone Biles too. Now they're doing it to Simone Biles. Because anyone and everyone is trans, bro. Everyone is trans. Everyone is trans. Women of color have consistently gotten this worse in general. Caster Semenya being like one of the most prominent examples. It's like, wow, that person. I hope that there is like a pendulum swing in the other direction inevitably, okay? Because this is so out of control. Like, what the fuck is going on? I think that there is going to, I hope that there is going to be a pendulum swing in the other direction where people just go, all right, this is like actually crazy. Because the fact that people are just like running with this narrative when it is straight up false, I don't know what to do here. Like, I don't know how to deal with this.
Olympics, and this Italian girl has made it. She's boxing, committed her whole life to boxing. Committed her whole life, this girl. Her dad passed away, I do believe.
Yeah, very recently.
Very recently. I assume her and her dad I assume this is a big story.
Like, they're hitting this angle from the auspices of like defending women, right? Defending the integrity of women's sports. Bro, you're literally shitting on another woman. Okay? You're just straight up saying like, well, I prefer one woman over the other because one woman looks kind of brolic. Fuck.
And then all of a sudden she finds herself in the Olympics moving forward, and she has to fight somebody from Algeria who has been banned from other competitions because not woman enough to compete. Yeah. And then 46 seconds into her Olympic fight with this person from...
Are you delusional? Am I? I'm the delusional one, you think? This woman is not a trans woman, bro. Like, I don't even care if she was, but she's not even a trans woman. And I'm the delusional one because enough people are saying that she is trans. So we're just going to run with that? Like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
This woman from Algeria basically taps out broken nose. Then afterwards she cries and she's like, I've never been punched that hard in my life. And it's like, for me, I know this conversation has been happening for a few years. I just don't understand how we got to this point. And I am coming from a very empathetic point of view as well. Because as we all kind of learned about the transgender situation that was happening for people, I think we're all incredibly like bummed that like that would be terrible. If your soul did not match your physical body, that would be quite a conflict every single day. I have no idea how that would test you in the morning. Like every day you wake up, you're just not who you're supposed to be. Like I have a lot of empathy for that. But the soul being of a different sex of your physical body is something that people much smarter than me are gonna, have to talk about. But when it comes to sports, it's like the physical is the one competing. So I think there should be some sort of conversation there, especially at very, very high levels, because whenever you're talking about Olympics and dreams and chasing, that girl bawling her eyes out from Italy, it's like, think about her entire life was committed. Then she gets into a fight with somebody who physically is going to be, more capable just throughout history than she even has the possibility of being. Like, if you just look at a simple stat here, let's just do the swimming. Okay, here's the women's swimming gold medals time.
Yeah, that's a great take, man. Yeah, when you look at women's swimming, okay, Katie Ledecky just won gold, and motherfuckers are saying she's a man too. You understand? The only difference between you and Ian Miles Chong in the situation is that, like, enough more people are hyper-focusing on the boxing one, and you're both wrong. You're both wrong in the exact same fucking way, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, right? Because the truth doesn't matter. What matters is, are there enough people on one social media platform that believe this false narrative, believe this falsehood? You're transvestigated too by him? Is this a man or woman? Bro, there is nothing funnier than this. Like, dude, look at me and then look at you, Ian. You don't even fucking look human. We don't even look like the same species. And you're out here fucking being like, is this a man or a woman? Like, what kind of fucking stupid shit is this? I, for one, think that a major social media platform like this, actively giving the entirety of its user base brainworms, is probably not good for a healthy, functioning society. We cannot have normal discourse if half of the population, or even larger percentages of the population that are literally on this fucking platform, have actively been brain rotted into hallucinating narratives. Okay? It is so insane. Here, let's listen to this. Actually, wait, let's finish the Pat McAfee coverage.
From this particular Olympics, and then the men's swimming gold medal times from this particular Olympics. And we're talking about the best in the world. There's a couple Olympic records in here. There's a couple world records in here. We're talking about the best of all time. The men's ones are faster. That is just natural. And, you know, there's a women.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Yes, cis men on many sports, many physical sports, cis men will usually at the top of the ticket will outcompete cis women. Okay? That's true. Except people think that, like, you get to compete in the Olympics as a trans woman by being a fucking cis man your whole life and then one day being like, I'm a trans woman now. Like, that's not how that works. It's so stupid. That's not how this fucking works. That's why you're pointing to something that is not happening. Okay?
Women's basketball, there's a women's golf tee, women's volleyball, the net is a little bit lower. These are things that have just been happening since, you know, the beginning of sports. And then all of a sudden now the conversation has turned like, no, there is no difference. It's like, there is, especially at a very high level. And I just hope that the people who are much smarter than us can kind of sort through that. Because once again, a lot of empathy. Want you to live your absolute best life. But I have a daughter who is 15 months old. Happy anniversary to my lovely bride. I have a daughter who's 15 months old. And if she works her entire life, okay, to get to a massive platform, to the biggest competition of all time, and then all of a sudden she has to take on, like, that is unfair. And I know that it's not every woman in every male physical body. We're not talking about souls. We're talking about physical bodies are going to be like better. But it's like at those high level of competition.
Oh my God. Okay. I can't listen to this brain rot.
Updates from Paris 2024 site this morning has been.
The entire purpose of sports is that it's unfair, bro. Shut the fuck up. What are we doing? Like, the entire purpose of sports is unfair. People have natural advantages, okay? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Not only do people have natural advantages, but people also have, like, significant advantages in terms of, like, like, their development, right? Their material conditions. That's why stories like the South Sudanese team coming together from a country that doesn't have one singular fucking indoor basketball court is a phenomenal story. That's what makes this so amazing, okay? Nutrition differences, like people coming in from other countries, like third world countries that like do not have the same access to nutrition, access to exercise science, access to the latest and greatest in fucking development, outcompeting people that do have access to that. It's about overcoming great odds. That's what's beautiful about sports. It is never supposed to be this blanket, equity field. It's like one of the only places where like there is some semblance of meritocracy. And these guys are literally breaking their brains over this concept and being like, I'm imagining that some people have like, this advantage, this like magical advantage. It's so fucking stupid. And I've talked about this quite a bit. You can say horrible take all you fucking want, but it's the truth. I don't know what you're talking about. But like, I never hear anybody chirping about Messi getting hormone therapy early on. I believe it was Barcelona, right? In their scouting program that took a massive fucking bet with Messi. He had a genetic condition. Which he had to get growth hormone for early on in his life. Okay? Ain't nobody fucking talks about that. Everybody talks about how brilliant and how incredible Messi is. Yeah, he had to get human growth hormone. FC Barcelona made the best deal in the history of football, signing a young Lionel Messi from Argentina at the age of 13. The contract signed on a napkin was predicated on Football Club Barcelona paying for Messi's medical treatment. Messi was diagnosed with a growth hormone disorder, or GHD, It is often called idiopathic short stature, but there are problems that go beyond being shorter than average. The treatments were expensive, $900 monthly expense that his modest family could not afford. River Plate and Newell's Old Boys, storied Argentinian clubs, passed on that expense despite the promise of a very young Messi. The treatments were injections of human growth hormone. For someone with GHD, this is a life changer, allowing them to not only develop greater height, but also help deal with a variety of internal issues such as pituitary function, skin and teeth problems, poor vision, lower immunity. The use of HGH is banned in almost all sports, amateur and professional, but there are two things that need to be made clearer. First, Messi's use was likely discontinued after he reached adulthood. Football Club Barcelona and Messi's representatives did not respond to my request for comment on the issue and have made no public comments in years regarding Messi's medical treatments. While GHD continues, the importance of it to development and function is reduced. If it did continue, a player with a diagnosed medical condition, especially one that is long-standing and well-documented like Messi's, could apply for a therapeutic use exemption. But ain't nobody's going to ever bring that up, and they shouldn't bring that up, okay? They should not bring that up because that would be ridiculous. So not only are there examples that we talk about with respect to natural genetic advantages that certain people have over others, like Michael Phelps' incredibly long wingspan that is like insane, right? That allows him to outcompete everybody else that nobody fucking chirps about, or Wemby's fucking height, or LeBron James being 6'9", 250 pounds and having incredible fucking footwork. These are all genetic advantages, but beyond that, there's so much hard work that goes into it. That is what makes sports great, okay? If people like myself and all these other fucking couch potatoes were out there trying to compete, it would not be fun. It would not be entertaining. The entire field of sports is supposed to be this like multitude of factors coming together, okay? Social conditioning, material conditions, and also genetic advantages that allow people to thrive in this environment, overcoming great fucking odds. These people that are complaining about a cis woman are saying, I just don't like the way she looks. I don't believe that she is not a trans woman, and I think that she shouldn't be allowed. If you think unfairness is a part of sports, do you think men and women should compete in the same category? I don't personally care that there are gender differences in, or like there's a male and female category in sports. But I also don't have an issue with trans men and trans women competing either. Okay? But we're not even talking about trans men and trans women at this point. We're talking about cis women being suspected of being trans. Your community makes me not want to accept trans people. And I've been an ally. You take it way too far. You're no different than the MAGA people. Forcing trans women to compete against cis women is sexiest towards women. You no different than the MAGAs. Brother, ain't nobody is forcing you to be a certain way, okay? Have some backbone. Like, what are you? Are you a child? Do you have a fucking child brain? Like, what's happening? Oh, man, I heard you make an argument about, like, people that we actually place the emphasis on in terms of, like, using hormones and people that we don't care when they use hormones. And that actually made me transphobic. What do you mean forcing you to be transphobic? It seems like you just got that dog in you regardless, and you don't want to come to terms with that. So you just want to like point the finger of blame somewhere else.
Look ahead to
The testosterone is not a perfect test. Many women can have testosterone which is in what would be called male levels, and still be women and still compete as women. So this panacea, this idea that suddenly you do one test for testosterone and that sorts everything out, not the case, I'm afraid. But each sport needs to deal with its issues. They know their sports and their disciplines the best, and you need to target and tailor, I should say, the testing and so on with that. But I think we're all agreed, I hope we're all agreed that we're not calling for people to go back to the bad old days of sex testing. I think
if the Democrats drop the ball on this, they are the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. They should be hammering this talking point over and over again about how fucking unimaginably weird Republicans are being about this, including with American athletes that are gold medal winners, like Katie Ledecky, American athletes that rugby star, that they're just like they're just so fucking unhinged, and they're like suspecting that there's a trans person in every goddamn corner because they've brain broken themselves into thinking that we have to have penis inspection day, not realizing that that actually ends up overwhelmingly harming cis girls, okay? Because there are significantly more cis girls than there are trans girls, okay? And that's why when they do penis inspection day in the form of legislation, as Republicans have passed in places like Ohio, that's just gonna be weird, creepy motherfuckers being like, I suspect your daughter of being a trans woman, so that's right, come on, drop your trowels, I gotta check your pussy. That's what the Republicans want. That's the future that they're fucking advocating for, and you dumb motherfuckers are letting that happen, okay? Creepy ass motherfuckers, bro. I swear to God.
Which was a terrible, terrible thing to do, and I'm sure we all agree that that is not the way forward in this.
Democrats better not say nothing, bro. 85% of USA's brain rotted when it comes to the subject. Fuck no. That's so stupid, dude. That is not only cowardly, but unimaginably stupid. This is what we mean when we say people are weird, okay? And no, 85% of the country is not like this. 85% of Twitter is like this. So you are looking at Twitter and you think that that is an accurate snapshot of how the rest of the country thinks. 20% in Twitter's peak, 20% of the American public was using this fucking platform, okay? That's a lot of people. But that was at its peak. Now it's all bots, porn accounts, and fucking murder porn, okay? And right-wing Nazis like you've never seen. Clarissa Shields, GOAT woman boxer right now, gave a take for the New York Times defending her. Clarissa Shields, a professional boxer who in 2012 became the first American woman to win an Olympic gold medal, said in an interview that she did not remember undergoing testosterone testing when she competed as an amateur. She said women with naturally high testosterone levels should not be punished and that there should be transparent testing protocols. Twitter said it, so it's biased, KEKW. I mean, yeah, it is. Something that is like blowing up on Twitter does not mean that it is the actual narrative that a lot of people believe. And it doesn't matter what the fucking narrative is on Twitter regardless. You should still advocate for the truth. What are we talking about? The idea that we just have to fucking lean in to these transphobic weirdos who have lost their fucking minds on transphobia so much that they are literally fucking like shitting on cis women and suspecting them of being trans because they're fucking brolic is insane. We can't punish a woman for naturally having something that other women don't have, Shields said. That's like saying, oh, she's too strong to be at this weight. She's knocking everybody out. We're going to put her in the men's division. It has to be some facts that make sense.
Situation.
And your answer, and one of the most vocal, critic.
This involves real people, and we're talking about real people's lives here. They have competed, and they continue to compete in the women's competition. They have lost. And
wait, what? She posted this? Just did an interview with Fox News about this. I'm taking a stand. Women should fight against women. Men fight against men. And transgenders fight against transgenders. This is ridiculous. And I'm heartbroken for the women boxers of the Olympics. Yeah, Mike Tirico just addresses on the broadcast right now, saying that it's because IOC took over from IBA. IBA is corrupt and the decision was wrong. Balance the unemotional reporting, basically telling people to move the fuck on. Yeah.
And they have won against other women throughout over the years. And by the way, this should make this absolutely clear for everyone. This is not a transgender issue. I know you know that, but I think there has been some misreporting on this, and I think it's very, very important to say that this is not a transgender issue. These women have been competing in competitions for many years. We need to have a new boxing federation, and sadly, if we don't have one, we won't have boxing in Los Angeles. We really want it for all sorts of reasons, and not just the spectacle, but because it actually does a great deal of social good. So we are really hoping that there will be a federation that can deal with these issues. As you know, the current eligibility is based on Tokyo, which is only 3 years ago.
The craziest part about it is you see the photo and they're like, surely that's a dude. And that's so funny because what the fuck do you look like, dumb fuck? Well, what do you look like? It's not. You're just being a rude piece of shit. You're just being a rude piece of shit. That's it. That's all this is. It's just you vice signaling. You're like, oh, well, I don't find her to be fuckable. So she's not a woman? That's what it is?
Well, this was a moment of history. It happened earlier today in France, and a major controversy, too, has now erupted out of Paris. An Algerian boxer shown in the red uniform who failed a gender eligibility test last year has now won an opening fight after only 46 seconds. Her opponent breaking down in tears, calling it, quote, unjust. Greg Palcott picks it up from London with more on what happened in the ring. Greg.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, big controversy indeed at the Olympics. A boxer deemed a biological male beating an Italian female opponent with the...
That's awesome. That's not what this is at all. Every part of this is wrong. Literally every part of this is wrong. And this is being covered as like truthful, accurate news. This isn't just like Jesse Waters. This is the objective reporting arm of Fox News. You need to understand this. Like, this is the morning show, okay? In the morning show, if you know anything about fucking Fox News, the morning part of the show is supposed to be more objective, like real news coverage. This speaks truth, and the reason this shit is happening, the damage and wokeness that libs of TikTok have done on this app cannot be overstated 100%. This is why I really don't think both sides are the same, man. This is just awful. They just completely lie about shit. Now with zero care for reality. I never said both sides are the same. Okay, but if the Democratic Party fucking is fearful of the transphobic sentiment that they're hearing from broader subsects of society and don't actually fucking actively fight back against this, then Democratic Party politicians are the same as the Republican Party politicians, because at the end, the ultimate changes in society are still going to be led by the Republican Party. Icy Vert made it on the broadcast back-to-back days. Damn, yeah, like this is a big fucking deal. The reason why I'm talking about this is not because like, oh, here Hasan goes again, defending trans people. Who gives a shit? First of all, I do give a shit, okay? It's still a form of bigotry that I think is completely unacceptable. That's number one. Number two is that this goes even beyond transphobia in this situation. It is at the heart of my major problem with the age of disinformation online. This is not even a trans person, but people are just running with this narrative that she is a trans person, that she is a biological male, born a biological male, which is like inherently transphobic to begin with. But it's like, you don't understand. I'm not only just defending trans women in this situation, I'm defending cis women too. That is a cis woman that they're just calling a man. How do we get here?
Italian crying out, I couldn't take it anymore, despite failing that gender test by the...
Like, look. Next time we should just start allowing these boxers to bring brass knuckles because they identify as brass knuckle having females. It's like, bro, that's a woman, dog. That's a woman. You think she's not, but that is a woman. Not a trans woman, a cis woman, okay? That is a cis woman, okay? She got a pussy, she got a uterus. That's a cis woman. Do you feel me? Do you understand me on this? You are suspecting her of not being that, and you're just running along with that, and you're hitting this with like the classic transphobia angle, which is like, I personally think I identify as an attack helicopter. Like, that's what you're doing here.
International Boxing Association, and being banned from an international tournament last year.
What the fuck?
Algerian 25-year-old...
Bro, they hit a fucking 9/11 image, dude. That's so funny. That's hilarious. They accidentally slid the 9/11 image in there.
Khalif was okayed by Olympic authorities to compete. And apparently today it was a very one-sided fight with Italian Angela Carini, also 25. After just 46 seconds and several sharp punches to the head, including the nose by Khalif, Carini abandoned the fight, threw her helmet to the floor, stormed off the boxing ring, and in fact went on to say that she had never felt such strong blows in a contest before. Now, Algerian Khalif has competed for several years in other international tournaments, including the Olympics, but was banned last year due to, according to officials, elevated levels of testosterone. Algerian sports officials have called the charges against Khalif baseless, but others have raised concerns.
This isn't even that person. What is happening? This isn't even Khalif. They're just like showing a dude. This reporting does not even like, this reporting is basically just straight up what I suspect from like a psychotic, transphobic, like right-wing YouTube page. Like, that's crazy. Like, they don't even give a fuck.
Concerns about the health of opposing athletes when, according to one, a man fights a woman. And Khalif is not the only one getting attention. Taiwan boxer Lin Yu-ting is competing in the Olympics, including a fight tomorrow, and has also been deemed a biological male, according to the International Boxing Association. In a statement.
Yeah, there's a reason why this is not IBA standards, okay? And it's not because of woke. It's not because of woke gender. The IOC is not using IBA standards, okay? What the fuck? What is happening?
And the IBA said in part, this test conclusively indicated that both athletes did not meet necessary eligibility criteria and were found to have competitive advantages over other female competitors. One more quote from the defeated Italian. Boxing is a sport that teaches you to have respect for the opponent. It cannot and must not become an abuse. Back to you, Bill.
What a story. I think it's quite a moment in this whole campaign, whether it's here or overseas. Greg, thank you for that in London. We got more on this now, Dana.
Want to bring in Clarissa Shields. She's a professional boxer and a two-time Olympic gold medalist. It's great to have you. And her necklace there says, "Quote was the greatest woman of all time." It is really good to have you here. You've competed in 2 Olympics. This, you told us in the break, was not an issue when you were in the Olympics. And there's the medals. What do you think about all of this?
Well, my first Olympics, I was 17 years old, so I hadn't even fully developed as a woman, so I couldn't imagine getting inside the ring with the biological man. I mean, even though I spar against the men, but fighting for the Olympics is way bigger than that. It's so much more on the line. So to have to go in there with the opposite gender when, look, women fight against women, men fight against men. So I don't even see how the Olympics done something like this.
You know, I watched this video earlier today, Clarissa. Have you seen it, for the Italian boxer saying, "I'm out"? Have you seen the video yet?
I've seen it.
I mean, she really looked scared to me. What did you think?
You know, I grew up in a gym sparring against a lot of guys and stuff, but every fighter, woman fighter, does not do that. So, so the power to her did seem like it was much bigger and much stronger, and it did scare her, you know. And I don't know how old she is, but it's still like when you're born a man, you're already born with the bigger muscles and a bigger neck, and you've grown up to be a man. You know, you didn't change genders when you was a kid, so it's, to me, it's just unfair, and I just can't believe that it's being done, and I just couldn't.
That's crazy that she literally gave a fucking the exact opposite quote to the New York Times. None of what she is saying happened in this situation. They're just making all this shit up. Will there be any fucking corrections on this? Probably not. There's no other world where like the natural genetic advantages that one person has over the other is considered to be inappropriate. That's what makes sports great. Look at the ticker. No indication that Khalif or Lin identify as transgender or intersex.
Imagine it happening to me.
There's not that many women who are willing to stand up and say this is wrong.
One of the craziest parts about this is like being a black woman who's a dominant athlete, not realizing that like black women who are dominant athletes are the first to be transvestigated, like historically, including Serena Williams, but like not limited to just Serena Williams either. They will call you a man soon too when your fucking highlight reel comes out, okay? And is like recirculating. This is what a lot of women who are engaging in this kind of fucking transphobia don't understand. They don't get it. People don't understand it. They're doing it to Simone Biles right now. They're doing it to Katie Ledecky. Iman Khalif, Duty Chan, Caster Semenya, Anit Nageza. Anyone noticing a common thread among female athletes who have been falsely subjected to transphobic attacks and allegations? Yeah, the Katie Ledecky one is the unique one because she's a white blonde woman. But yeah, usually it's just women of color that get fucking transvestigated aggressively. I mean, this is such a bad take. What is a bad take? It's not a bad take at all. This is very common. People do this shit to female athletes of color so much. They do this to female athletes of color non-fucking stop. I don't know what you already said, but Karina shouted, "It's not fair, it's not fair." Then when all the mess started, her coach said that she had a problem with her teeth. Many people in Italy thought she wanted a spot in the Meloni government, but who knows? Yeah, it's just racism and misogyny. It's fucking lame as hell.
You know, I admire you for doing so. Do you think the Olympics will have a change of heart
here?
I mean, if you see her, that young woman from Italy, she worked just as hard as anybody else to get to the Olympics, and her dream was dashed in 46 seconds because of him.
It is very hard to qualify for the Olympics. You have to go through
Yo, this shit is gross, man. You're a fucking freak. You're a fucking disgusting freak piece of shit.
So many different.
You're like deliberately misgendering. Crowder closed. The male stole Angela Carini's Olympic dream and her promise to her late father. I mean, I don't want to watch this fucking washed up loser, dude. Bro, she tapped out in 45 seconds and we're still having this conversation. Once again, I want to point out that they are doing this to everybody. They're doing this to Katie Ledecky. They're doing this to they're doing this transvestigation to the American rugby player. Jake Paul, this is sickening. This is a travesty. It doesn't matter what you believe. This is wrong and dangerous. Yeah, you're right, man. 96,000 likes. This is her a few hours ago. She seems to have done a lot of talking. Yeah, Algerian boxer was born a woman. Iman is a woman. She has hyperandrogenism, a condition characterized by abnormally high androgen levels in the blood, leading to elevated testosterone in the presence of XY chromosomes. This is a natural disorder. I don't even know that we know that, by the way. Like, we don't even know if that's the case. That's what the suspicion is. Did you see the whole fight? I don't mean to be disrespectful to the other Italian lady, but she's just genuinely ass at boxing. She dropped her guard and took on punches that I don't think amateur boxers would even take. Here, I'll watch the 45. Well, Eurosport's unavailable in my region. Imagine being from a rural region of fucking Algeria and like working your whole goddamn life, getting fucking 9 knockouts. Like you've lost 9 fights. I think that not all 9 of them were KOs. You finally fucking get to this situation where you're like dominant, competing at the fucking global stage, and you beat your opponent in 45 seconds because she can't keep her hands up, breaks her fucking nose, and quits 45 seconds in. And then the entire world's like, sorry, you're too fucking brolic. So I don't think you're a woman. I think you have a penis. I'm going to imagine that you have a penis. And literally everyone's like, hey, here's our united statement, joint Paris 2024 boxing unit IOC statement. This is a woman. This is a cis woman. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is a cis woman. While the statement is welcome, it's important to stand in solidarity with Iman, who has been subjected to the worst kinds of attacks. Okay, that's not bad. Never mind. I thought that the response is still, he's a man. This is fucking mental illness, dude. This is just mental illness. There's nothing else here. 13.5 KO percentage. She's had 5 KOs and she's lost 9 fights. Oh, Elon deleted all his tweets about Iman. Yeah, fuck that piece of shit. Cowardly piece of shit. He's probably worried he's going to get sued for defamation, except his entire fucking platform is still running with this narrative, regardless of the fact that, you know, he deleted his own personal fucking tweets. Freak. Bitch ass. Ignore the tweet, but here's the full fight. Yeah, Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines is another perfect representation of this. Riley Gaines herself is brolic as shit. The very same transphobic people think she's a man. And her entire career is constantly pointing at fucking cis women and being like, they're probably men. They're probably trans. It's like, bro, look at your own damn self. You got brolic ass shoulders. Look at your goddamn fucking clavicles, dumb fuck. What are you doing running around calling cis women trans for being brolic? You fucking idiot. J.K. Rowling posted this shit too. I woke up to this like unimaginable cruelty on the fucking timeline. That shit is so annoying, dude. Anyway, we're going to move on. Well, good afternoon.